Hello, hello. Uh, Ross and I decided to go to Las Vegas to check that out. I wanted to go see the Sphere. I wanted to go see the Grand Canyon also. And Ross wanted to come and see the LA Auto Show. I was less enthused, but when I got there, I became enthused. It was really nice. So this is the entrance. Actually, it's one of the oldest auto shows. It's been around for like over 100 years. I was checking that up online. And it's in a big convention center, and it's huge. Very big. So we'll start right away at the entrance. We had Porsche. Porsche is always, they're always awesome, Porsche, right? They show up. And, well, they're selling beautiful products. As you can see, a lot of emphasis on the Macan, which is almost, is it a SUV or is it a tall, sporty hatchback? I don't know, you tell me. Including these Porsche lifestyle products, which was kind of cool. So, yeah, pretty nice. Porsche is beautiful. Maserati was there, and although I'm not really a Maserati fan, here in Quebec, Canada, there aren't really that many Maseratis on the road. They had their own stand, and well, there it is. I did that over-the-air updates. I think cars of the future will have over-the-air updates. I mean, it's logical, isn't it? I mean, it's just so techy that, I mean, that seems to me cars of the future, if they're not getting on board that, it's going to be hard. It's going to be harder. Just a similar experience to our phone, you know? Volkswagen was there in full force. There was the new Taos, there was the new Tiguan, and that is the mainstream appeal, right? A subcompact crossover and a compact crossover. Boy, Volkswagen is really hitting hard. They're really hitting hard in the sense that they're focused like a laser on the customer, in my opinion. They still have to work on their long-term reliability, but nevertheless, at least from what I could see, they're on the right track. They have a nice conservative styling, I find, Volkswagen. You know, they make good-looking cars. There's just so many SUVs at car shows now. It's the market, really. I would have to say trucks and SUVs accounted for like, I don't know, 80%, which is really appealing to like the top 15, maybe 20% of the population. Subaru is the king of marketing. You could not go by their stand and not be indifferent. And I love people who show up. Look at this, long live our national parks. You know, that outdoorsy thing that, I don't know, they're just so cool. And I noticed this about Americans in general, is their taglines are so positive, right? Their marketing is so positive. It's really good stuff. It's, you know, these little lines like good mood, or like what was one of the things I saw? Good food means good moods, or helpful Honda, or Subaru loves pets, or this was scattered throughout the LA Auto Show, and it reminds me of that, you know, coming from Canada, how just optimistic and how that type of marketing appeals to presumably the American buyer. Look, Subaru loves learning, loves to care. Great examples of things that you see. Look, they had like a pet center in the Subaru display. It was wonderful. I thought it was clever. I thought it was caring and optimistic and friendly, and really that's kind of like the best of America, if you ask me. And it just goes to show you that the car manufacturers are reacting to that. So, yeah. Kia and Hyundai are just animals, right? They're there to win. They're putting the fight in. I hear a lot of mechanical reviewers not like the reliability, or at least the long-term reliability of Hyundais. When something breaks, it costs a fortune. Parts are a fortune. All that stuff. Having that said, they're plowing forward like there's no tomorrow, and they just don't care what everyone says. There was a little bit of focus on electric vehicles, but not that much for Hyundai Kia, and it's refreshing. Here in the Montreal Car Show, I don't even go anymore because it's an electric car show, and I'm just not that interested. The cars are too expensive. Here, a lot of focus on gas and hybrid, which I thought was, I think is the way to go in terms of affordability. And the Kona is probably the most underrated vehicle in terms of it's so big, so functional, so good. And look, Kia and Hyundai still have affordable cars. Unlike many manufacturers. And that's what I focused on in this review, because I just think that's where most of the people are. I think most people are making a salary to buy more affordable vehicles, and that's the way it is. Though I'm like the presentation of Hyundai, they're very good. Their vehicles very good. You have something for everyone. You want a big SUV, a small one, luxurious interior, non-luxurious interior. They have something for everyone, the Koreans. So certainly fighting for your money. And they even have like the Genesis lineup, which is, you could argue, is a very high luxury segment. Though I would say the sedans, the luxury sedans, have a catastrophic resale value. In fact, I'm even looking like at a used G80 because I just like luxury. I'm 50 years old now. And I don't want an SUV. I just don't feel like it. Though Hyundai, or I should rather say Genesis, has nice SUVs and they were on display. This is what I mean by they show up, right? They show up and they plow forward. BMW, Audi, and Mercedes were not there. So it's not interesting to shop those brands. Helpful Honda. See what I mean? See what I'm talking about? This positive attitude. The new Prelude, I must say, is very small and very beautiful in person. That's all I have to say about that car. I haven't tried it yet. We will try it. The seats looked excessively bolstered. I'm cautiously optimistic about trying that car. My initial thoughts are maybe slightly underpowered and a bit too expensive. Unlike this vehicle, which is adequately powered and at a good price if it were sticker, though everyone is charging over stickers, so what's the point? I don't buy vehicles like that. Toyota is just so strong, and it's really come into their own in the last 5-10 years, especially the last 5 years when people, I remember 5 years ago, at least in Canada and Quebec especially, they were mocking them because they weren't all on board electric and they were doing things at their pace, and it has paid off. They're reliable vehicles, their fuel sipping hybrid technology is affordable, and a logical next step which has matured, and that reliability means that when you're buying a vehicle, vehicles are now so expensive and repairs are so expensive that they just make sense. And that's what I have to say about Toyota. They are winners. But however, once again, a huge emphasis on trucks. This is the car show of trucks and SUVs and crossovers. There's just no question. Here we're going to the American car manufacturers, and it seems like I woke up in 1990. The big sports cars are meant to draw people in, flashy cars, and what are they offering? I ask you that. What are they offering? I would say, with the exception of the Chevrolet Trax and the Buick, which is I forget the name, but it's a copy of the Trax, I have not seen anything dynamic come out of Chevrolet. I see big vehicles which are very expensive. I see a strategy of electrification, which I'm not sure the majority of the clients can go for, but where are they? And it's the same thing with Ford, they're very truck centered, and that's nice. And you can have these displays, which I thought were delightful to see, and you really see the ruggedness of the American vibe in terms of manufacturing vehicles. Look, it's going up. I've never seen a road like this, but if you do encounter one, your Jeep can go over it, no problem. So I'm not knocking. I don't want to sound negative when I say that. I realize that I am sounding negative, and I don't want to sound negative, and I don't want to diss the buyer who likes this kind of vehicle. It's just, yeah, that's great, but what else? What is there for the mainstream? I don't know. All right? And, well, you gotta kind of make small cars good and long-lasting and reliable, so that way cost of ownership is down, you're not stuck on the side of the road, and that builds the loyalty. There's just no question. Loyalty might be less of a thing than it was 30-40 years ago, but it's still a thing. I mean, it's still, look, this vehicle is going upstairs. It was a very good display. I remember I almost wanted to get into one, right? And this is very useful for the Montreal roads, right? The Montreal roads are just such a catastrophe that in Quebec in general. So it's very good for. I understand why people want SUVs. They're and trucks. They're just so rugged, and I must say they are increasingly comfortable and increasingly luxurious. I mean, before they used to be just like a work truck. Now they're a 7-day-a-week truck. Look at the Ford display. Yeah, it's fun to watch these things, and it is a very convincing marketing, I must say. In reality, though, I think for me, as I see it, the most compelling product from the Americans is the Ford F-150. There's just no question, and that's what I have to say about that. See, once again, I love the Mustang, and I love this cheery, ready, set Ford. I love those small sayings, if you want. The Mach-E is okay, I guess, but they're losing how much money per vehicle? I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Is that a viable business? Not yet. Not yet. I know here in Quebec, they're giving the Mach-E's away. Once again, that's the EV mandate, right? But you're still paying $60,000 a vehicle for a half-decent equipped vehicle, and it just doesn't make sense, right? And that is... I can speak only for Quebec, right? This is the American market. Fair enough. Well, there weren't many EVs, right? Look, lots of... All right, those are huge. Volvo was there. I don't know. Volvo is a dynamic exterior SUV company. And what else is there? What else are they doing that's special? I can't think of it. Nissan is a company where we actually rented from Enterprise a Nissan Rogue. I wanted an SUV that was comfortable for the long travels we had to do between Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and it was really up to snuff. It did a good job, and the driving aids were very good. And there's a lot of traffic in between LA and Las Vegas. I couldn't get over it. The Nissan Kicks is probably the best vehicle I think Nissan makes. It's really affordable, it's comfortable, and I don't know if it's gonna last long, but nevertheless, from an initial impression, I thought it was very good. There was the Leaf, the new Leaf. I'll let you judge the exterior styling. I just came back to Genesis because I thought the Genesis display they were just so nice. They're good looking vehicles. You know, Mazda was not there. They should have been there. I did notice in LA there are no Mazdas, which is interesting because here in Quebec we hold them in such high regard. More trucks, just more trucks. And here you have like the Bolt, which is probably the best vehicle that GM ever made, in my opinion, in the last 10 years. But then again, too expensive to be sold at a profit. So just for shits and giggles, I'm just showing you when you go to the Las Vegas Sphere. It was such a cool experience. Imagine we went to go see the Wizard of Oz, of all things. Can you believe it? The Wizard of Oz. And this is walking in. It's so cool and so funky. There's 18,500 people, I think, or something like that, that can fit in the Sphere, which is bonkers. That's what it looks like from the inside. What you're seeing is the screen. It's not like... And of course, I went to go see a hockey game with Ross. Ross loves the Canadians, so I went to go see the Canadians with him, and it was a so-so match. The Knights didn't play very well. It's not so much that we won because we're better. We won because the Knights didn't show up for the game. But nevertheless, gives you an idea of what it's like to be there. It's exciting no matter where you go, right? It's not just in Montreal where hockey is exciting. Everywhere it's exciting. So that's it. So this is the show. Hope you enjoyed it.